Hello everyone and welcome to the 2019.2 South African simGT series at the Road Atlanta circuit. And I'm Jason Holden-Jones and I'm joined by Daniel Haynes. Welcome Daniel.
Yeah, welcome. Good to be back. We didn't feel like we almost left only a few weeks ago.
Absolutely no rest for the wicked, as they say. And we are back racing, actually qualifying at the moment. And there's Chris Haynes who's started the qualifying session first, getting out the pits first and trying to get ahead on everybody else. Let's watch the 80k backed Audi down the back straight towards the hairpin. And of course it's just a 15-minute session. Of course there's the added pressure that if you are in the slowest three of the qualifiers, you go down to Division 2 for the following round. So a bit of extra pressure this season. So we have moved away from the hot lap division qualifiers, which gave each driver basically 4 days to set a fastest lap time for each round. And for this season, we've had a pre-qualifying session to determine the divisions. And then throughout the season, the bottom three from Division 1 will go down, and top three from Division 2 will go up. And so an interesting feature there for this season.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be on a few of the guys' minds. A bit more pressure when you've only got a few laps to get in. You don't want to be dropping a division if you can help it. Times already, Clark's come in with an 18.2. That's the fastest time we've seen.
Where on earth did that come from in the division qualifying? Wow. So Daniel has found half a second compared to his division qualifying time, I think.
He's taken the ballast out of the boot.
Yeah, that would make up for it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think he's got rid of the passenger chairs, the extra wheel. He's lightened his vehicle a few hundred kgs.
Yes, I've just added the tyre app for our viewers and everybody on the soft tyre, as you would expect for this qualifying session.
Yeah, and we didn't see much tyre changing in the race last time out, so it'll be interesting to see with the extra month of preparation people have had, whether maybe people go with a different strategy this time out. I think it was pretty much mediums for everyone. Usually with GT3, that is the right strategy to go with, but maybe we'll see a few split changes to try and mix things up this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking notes for my Division 2 race on Wednesday evening. So I've been thinking about a two stopper on the medium tyre, but let's see if anybody can make the one stopper work.
Yeah, or a fast stint on a soft tyre somewhere. You never know. Try and mix things up. It's not an easy track to overtake on. There's not many positions. It's sort of big, fast flowing corners. It's risky trying to go side by side. So jumping people in pit stops is a valid strategy.
Yeah, so we've got Clark, of course, at the front of the 18.243. So Judd Watt's got a work to do with 10 minutes remaining. Quake Claasen's, of course, the new signing for Ghostworks. He's doing well there in third position with the 18.926. Gabriel returns to the championship. And just behind Claasen's, as we see Devin Lisher now up to third for Redline Racing. And we would expect his teammate Langeveld to be right up there as well. Let's see, he's yet to post a time, I think. So I have to wait for his time to come through. He should be right up there too.
Obviously, Langeveld was our pole position driver last time out with an 18.7. He was the only driver to get into the 18s. Already we've got 5 after just 5 minutes. So it shows the progress they've made in 4 weeks.
And that's with the adjusted balance of performance as well, which has made many of these cars slower, in fact.
Yeah, I think most of the cars have had at least one notch higher, so theoretically they should be a tenth or two slower, but no one's told any of these guys that. I was checking the RSR world record times. I think pretty much every car has been beaten by a sim race South Africa driver.
Yeah, that just speaks volumes for the quality of this championship.
Yeah, because those records are no joke. We check them before the race, and they're generally very, very high standard. So some of them have been properly beaten in Division O qualifying, and then obviously you go Clark doing an 18.2. He's just taken another 0.6 off the record just now.
Wow. Who else is going quicker? It's just Timothy Haynes as well in 6th position. Heineke in 7th. Stern in 8th. Swanepoel in 9th. Dirkie Swanepoel showing great pace here at Road Atlanta. And Christopher Langevaart in 10th. We expect Langevaart to be a bit quicker later on. Let's see how he gets on. Let's have a look at Jim Clark now. He's starting another flying lap. Let's watch that Delta time. He's found a couple of thousandths through turn 1. This is the tricky blind right-hander. Important just to touch that curb at the right place to keep the car settled. And looks like he's found another 10th here. Will we see an 18-1 from Jim Clark? Surely not a 17. That would be absolutely insane.
I can't see it, but you never put it past him. I mean, he's got such a good banker lap now. He's definitely going to be pushing.
And Jim Clark's got the emblem on the sides of the car for winning the championship last year. And of course, he's the defending champion from the 2019.1 season.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Yes, classy touch.
He's got it on the doors and on the boot at the back. The number 1 you'll see there.
And the number 1 is reserved for the championship. Has that always been the case? I didn't know that before.
Yeah, that's just sort of an emblem we saw. He's still got his race number of 117. But Nick Hodgson sort of came up with this idea of the champion from the previous season wearing this number 1 on his car.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so.
It's going to take a good effort to take that off him, I think, this season.
Yeah, I think so. I watched Bashir Jadwat in the Squadron Ghost X Audi. And he's on an outlap. Yes, he is. Just preparing those tyres. You'll see the guy's on a very slow outlap. Keeping those soft tyres as cool as possible for attacking the flying lap.
Yeah, because you've got a hot track again, 37 degrees. I noticed it's often 37 for qualifying. Do you set that temperature, Jason, or is it a random temperature?
It's random for qualifying in the race, but for the division qualifier was a static, so it was the same for everybody.
Yeah, it's usually 34 degrees for qualifying. Yeah.
But for this session now, it's actually been put in random. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite a hot track temp that can sometimes throw people off if they've been practicing on a lower temperature. But it's the same for everyone, so.
I mean, the random sort of values, it's not crazy different, it's just a couple of degrees.
No, but it's often been 37 for qualifying and then 31 for the race. I'm not complaining. I much prefer, certainly with GP, you notice it hugely. If you had the race at 37, it'd be difficult. But it actually does make quite a big difference.
Okay. So just over 5 minutes remaining. Now there's Jim Clark still in control of this session. Dirkie Swanepoel now to 3rd position. Wow, just 2 tenths behind Jadwat. And Definition there 2 and 4th position. Quay Claasen's down to 5th. Chris Langevaart now up to 6th position. Just keeping ahead there of Gabriel Rousseau. So it is Accor Racing leading with Clark. Ghostworks in 2nd with Jadwat. And Redline in 3rd and 4th with Swanepoel and Lisha. But as I say, Claasen's now up into 3rd now for Ghostworks. It's going quicker now. Clark's found a couple of hundredths now. Threatening those 18-1s. Nick Hodgson with a flyer up into 2nd. He goes with the 18.658.
That's a fantastic time. That's beating his Division O qualifying time.
Yep. So that's puts BMW 1st and 2nd. With the Audis of Jadwat and Claasen's in 3rd and 4th. And the McLaren 5th with Swanepoel.
We've got Langevaart that's certainly capable of a quicker time than what he's showing now, so he needs to try and push, try and split some of these guys.
So Clarkson at 18.158 now. That's absolutely crazy pace. Great
you park it in the pits and have an ice cream with that time. Kimi Räikkönen style.
And we've got Steven Sparks, Alfie van Sale and JP Paul under pressure now to be relegated down to Division 2 for round 2. So they need to pull something out the bag. if they are to avoid that. And they are, so Stephen Sparks is 2/10 away from Henry Roux. Gabriel Rousseau's left the server, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back before the race starts. Perhaps he just wants to change something on his wheel or his graphic settings, who knows. Hopefully his power hasn't gone out. You never know these days.
Yeah, don't. Commentator's curse will all disappear if you start saying things like that. Although in Cape Town at the moment with the weather, I wouldn't be surprised if we all lost our power. It's pretty horrific outside.
Now which Quake Clarson's now is a 10th slower. What can he do now? Oh, that's a bit of time there too aggressive with the curbs. It's cost him half a second. Hodgson's in the pits. Judd Watts about to start a flying lap. Let's see what he can do now. Judd Watts found at 10th through turn 5. Always lost a bit of time there, unfortunately, on exits. Challenging Nick Hodgson for that second place. I think Clark's too far gone.
He's coming up to a bit of traffic now as well.
No. Judd Watts lost at
Hopefully
10th too. And Jonathan Benz is commenting in the YouTube chat. Man, it's a different ball game trying to hit your times in this short session. Yes, of course, in the division qualifying, we had 2 times 90-minute sessions, and now the drivers only have 15 minutes to get their best time. So.
Yeah, and obviously also a completely full track, so you've got to find yourself a slot. It's definitely more difficult. You've got the pressure. If you don't get a banker lap in really early and you're running out now with only a couple of minutes to go, it's more and more difficult.
So Langerveld now up into 5th position. Timothy Haynes up into 7th. Dirkie Swanepoel's gone down to 8th position. And as we start to finish off the session now, Judd Watts left the circuit, keeps off the track. Do not hinder his fellow Ghostworks driver.
A Hail Mary line through turn 1 there, I think, just might as well at this point.
The big surprise of the session for me is Nick Hodgson in 2nd position. What a time, 18.658.
Yeah, fantastic effort. You know, he's in the pits. He's already got his mediums on. He's ready for the race, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to get better than that, I don't think, for him.
No.
That's a fantastic run.
Sometimes you surprise yourself and you just know you're not going to get better. It's not worth. It's not worth trying. Be happy with your performance. I think he will be very pleased with that effort.
Devin Nishan now looking for a 10th of a second. He needs 2 tenths to get into 10th with Judd Watt, though. Let's see how he gets on now. On his way to 2 tenths.
Obviously, Lisha was our winner last time out here at Road Atlanta. For some reason, they decided to change cars, I think from the BOP changes, but it's quite a change going from the Lamborghini to the Mercedes, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He certainly hasn't lost much speed, though.
No, he was actually 2 tenths up, but then he sort of blew it in that last corner, unfortunately.
And his qualifying time last time out was a 1:19.1, so he's already beaten his last race.
Stephen Sparks looking for a 10th of a second to move out of that relegation zone. But no, he's lost it, unfortunately. So it will be... He's our 22nd runner. The driver isn't popping up, unfortunately. But there we have it. Jim Clark will start from pole position ahead of Nick Hodgson and Bashir Judd Watt. We're going to take a short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Road Atlanta for round 1 of the 2019.2 South African simGT series. So you watch the pace lap underway. Jim Clark leading the field, of course, ahead of Nick Hodgson and Bashir Jadwat, our top 3 from qualifying. And all the drivers just preparing themselves mentally, trying to keep the tyres up to temperature as much as they can, dragging the brakes to keep them heating to the brakes, of course. And BMW 1 and 2 here, ahead of the Audi of Jadwat and the Mercedes-Benz of Devon Lisher. And we've got 65 laps of racing this evening, including this one. And each driver needs to do at least one pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see how the strategies play out this evening. And tyre choice wise, everybody's on the medium except for Hugo de Wit in 17th, Stephen Sparks in 19th, and JP Paul in 21st position.
Yeah, so we're watching those 3 drivers, see if they can. They need to really make an effort at the first. They don't want to be held up, but it'll be difficult getting through traffic on this track, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're coming up to the best passing part of the track at the moment here, down the straight into this tight chicane.
Yeah, certainly the only safe place to pass, I believe. Anywhere else, you've got to make sure the other driver knows you're there, or you're going to end up with a big accident.
Off we go. Jim Clark has started the race. He's got a good jump on Nick Hodgson. Hodgson's ahead of Jadwat as well by a fair amount. Devon Lisher under pressure from his teammate Christopher Langerveldt. Let's see if everybody survives turn 1. Oh, and as I said, Langerveldt's off into the kitty litter. That's cost him dearly. If he doesn't get collected by anybody else, but wow, that's cost him big time.
Yeah, he's going to struggle to get through traffic now.
But we can look forward to seeing him fight his way up the field.
Oh, of course, it's great for us. Not so much for Chris, unfortunately.
Of course, that sees Quake Claessens up into 5th position and challenging Devon Lisher already for 4th. So Claessens looking dangerous.
He's improved immensely on times compared to the last time out as well. He's really a challenge today. Jadwat's he's gonna want to try and really put pressure on Hodgson, because Clark's already making a gap. He's 1.3 seconds already at this early stage, with 1 lap in.
Claessens had to get out of a move on Lisher. In 2 corners before. He just had to get under braking. Otherwise, he was going to run into the back of Lisher. So he did very well. Cost him a bit of time, but I think he'll get that back. We're going to change the position here. Stephen Sparks has put a move on JP Paul. So the 2 McLaren swapping position. And this is over 19th position.
Jim Clark's opening lap with full fuel, 119.6. I'd have been happy with that at qualifying.
And Mark Kennedy has put a move on Langerveldt. Langerveldt with another excursion. I think Langerveldt just needs to settle down now. He's sort of pushing the car too hard at this start. Of course, he wants to make up as many positions as possible.
Yeah, he's put himself under a little bit of pressure, and he's sometimes trying to make good on your wrongs. But yeah, if he settles down, there'll be opportunities for him.
Edwin Govender off as well. He's down to 20th position. Stephen Sparks too with an issue. The 2 cars down, but not out. There's the Olifant now for Volante Racing under pressure from Leandro Sparks. The 2 McLarens line astern down the back straight. And ahead of them, it is Heineke trying to put a move on Sterner. In fact, it's Sterner putting a move on Heineke. So that's over 9th position. Good move there by Lawrence Sterner, Jim Clark's teammates. Lisher now, always been passed, has he? No, he hasn't. Under pressure from Hodgson. No, Hodgson's fallen back.
Yeah, he's dropped a couple of places. He must have had an issue. Or gone off track, possibly.
on board with Claessen's now chasing down Hodgson. So Hodgson bleeding positions. Trying to stop that bleeding now. Lisha found himself up into third. Jadwat up into second, of course. Oh, here comes Claessen's onto the brakes in avoidance.
Oh, I think a little bit of a tap there.
Perhaps just letting Hodgson know he wants to get on with it.
I'm pretty sure Hodgson's aware of that. Sometimes you spend more time looking at your mirrors at the road in front.
So Hodgson off onto the grass as well. So
Claessen's got a run on here. If he's got a very good opportunity in the braking zone to send one up the inside. Hodgson will probably close off that inside. Yes, he is doing so.
Claessen's on the brakes again. BMW very composed through there. Look at that, opening up the gap.
Yeah, you got a great exit out of the chicane, and that helps you all the way through into turn one. Jadwat now he's found.
Yep.
Sorry, I just said Jadwat now he's found a bit of clear air. Who's put in a 19.2, but as I say that, Jim Clark crosses the line with the fast lap of the race at 18.7 with race trim.
An 18.7. I did a 19.5 in the division qualifying.
He's got full fuel and medium tyres at 18.79. That's insane speed.
Boggles the mind. Heinrich under pressure. He's lost the pressure position to Leandro Sparks. Now under pressure from Leslie Oliphant. And Mark Henneberry is right there too. There comes the Ghostworks Audi. He's got Jacques Borta for company. It's a nice...
There's a little train. Yeah, that's a lot of cars all within a second there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Langevelt's desperate to try and clear them all, but and not going to be easy.
So Mark Henneberry should have a bit better straight line performance when compared to that. McLaren, he pulls alongside Leslie Oliphant.
He should make this.
Line. Let's see. There comes Langeveld in the background too. Oh, contact! I thought Langeveld was a bit too deep.
Langevelt's having a bit of a nightmare tonight.
Yeah. Down to 19th he goes. Behind
I think
Alfie
Oliphant's going to struggle on that back straight in that McLaren. It's got immense speed through the corners, but that's the only passing opportunity that's really secure. And if someone gets a run on him, then it's always going to be a bit of a sitting duck going into that braking zone.
Oliphant trying to come at Henneberry now. Henneberry's made a slight mistake. Oliphant will be in the slipstream. Let's see if you can stay with him.
Yeah, if he stays on the slip, he should be able to do it. Obviously, Henneberry's going to cover the inside. And you can see this, the McLaren's just struggling to keep... As soon as he gets out of the slipstream, he loses position. If Henneberry keeps that inside covered, he should be okay.
Oliphant around the outside. Oh, it's brave. Slight contact,
Very
not
brave.
too bad. Good attempt. But now he's got
very-
Jacques Borta all over him. Oh! And yeah, Oliphant just lost it over the bump, unfortunately.
Yeah, come out. I think the car goes light when you go over that sort of blind crest. Just take. Sometimes if you've got too much steering, like big accident.
So that's
yeah.
Perhaps a unsafe rejoin caused that. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see him join the circuit.
The problem is other drivers can't see you coming over that blind crest, so that probably wasn't his fault.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's actually a very difficult portion of the track. If you get the line slightly wrong and you suddenly come over the crest, and yeah, it can throw you off. You put too much steering lock on there, you can very easy to lose the car there.
Nick Hodgson now, Daniel down to 13th position. So whatever happened, they happened off camera.
Yeah, we missed that one.
While we were watching the Oliphant incident.
Yeah, after such a good qualifying, he'll be very disappointed to lose those.
But we are only on lap 8 of 65, so still time to make amends somewhat.
The pace at the front is pretty consistent. It's just unfortunate that, well, unfortunate for us as viewers that Clark is just keep pulling away about 0.2 a lap. So, yeah, if he can keep this pace up, it's going to be difficult for people to catch him. Looks like the closest battle now is Stain behind Haynes, 6th position. But it seems to be holding, but half a second pretty close if he can get a run on the back straight. As I say that, it drops to 0.3.
But Leslie Oliphant to the pits now, no doubt to repair that damage and get back out there. McCutcheon's got Jacques Buerta for 12th position as he starts his recovery now. And next up for Hodgson is Mark Henneber in 11th position. Oh, Leslie Oliphant decided to retire from this race.
Unfortunately, I think he hit the wall and then another car hitting him. He's probably got significant damage, I imagine. Difficult to come back from that.
And Henry Rue also into the pits now on 20th position.
So you got Stain and Haynes together, but as teammates, I'd be surprised if a move that they might decide to switch positions if Stain is showing faster pace. But I've also, it's difficult when you've got so many teammates. You can't go around in a you've got to pass someone because they've got Claessens in front as well.
Now, thankfully, YeloDesign has painted the cars different colours, so they can,
just to vary up
which
for us.
team. Yeah. So, of course, we're watching Timothy Haynes and Marcus Sen, the defending teams champions from last season. And let's see how they get on this season. But they know what it takes to win a championship. Consistent results.
Yeah, 100%. You don't win it in qualifying, that's for sure. These guys, they were consistent the whole of last season, and they're both consistent drivers. So I'd expect to see them there at the end of the season as well. Not necessarily winning it, but they won't be far off if not. Obviously, 2 drivers in the same team, both consistently scoring points as well, also helped.
Oh, and Hodgson cutting a bit of grass on the exits of the final corner, turn 12. That gets it under control.
He's putting a few scratches on his nice livery, unfortunately.
Yeah. As you watch Jacques Buerta under pressure from Hugo de Wit. Of course, Jim Clark wants to have the gap of a pit stop really at the front before he comes in, but at this rate I'm not sure if he's going to get it, so it's going to be interesting to see when he does his pit stop.
We're assuming
do it as late as possible.
Yeah, I don't think he has to worry too much. He's got enough of a gap that he's not worried about the undercut, so he's probably going to push it right into the very last minute. I think some of these guys never left this track. They spent 4 weeks going around, sleeping in the pits.
Because they stayed from the final round last season and just kept practicing.
Exactly. I didn't want to pay the airfare home. They just stayed there. They've been doing laps for a month because the race pace is sort of almost qualifying pace from last season.
Watching Chris Heineke in 10th position, trying to chase on Leandre Sparks. So one of the closest battles for the moment. I just see Staines right there with Haynes in 5th position.
Swanepoel is also catching them, 0.7, and his pace has been very, very good as well.
Turkey Swanepoel has been extremely impressive.
Very impressive, yeah.
I think it's finally finding his feet this season.
Yeah, because I was just looking at last season's LCQ results, and his fastest lap was a 1:20.0 in LCQ, and he's beating that in race pace this time out. So he's found a lot of time.
There's Turkey Swanepoel now, latching onto the two Ghostworks Audis, as you said, Daniel. Getting closer and closer, look at that.
Yeah, and those Ghostwork Audis are just dropping behind Claessen's in 4th place. So I'm not sure whether Haynes is holding staying up just a touch, but it's certainly not a huge gap at the moment. I think Tim's probably a bit tired because he was up all night on iRacing with me doing Silverstone last night.
Oh well.
It's not probably the best preparation for Road Atlanta.
Completely different circuits as well.
And Sims, yeah.
Okay, so with 13 laps in, Leslie Oliphant has got a DNF, of course, and Gabriel Rousseau did not in fact start the race, so he came in and did qualifying, and I suppose sort of saving his spot for round 2. And
yeah, I see he dropped off the timesheet. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hodgson, after his early escapades in the start of this race, seems to have settled down now, and he's putting in some decent times again. So maybe he finds a bit more of a rhythm and works his way back up the field. He's putting pressure on Hembury for 11th position, half second back.
The car doesn't look too badly damaged, actually, whatsoever. That rear wing looks straight, so looks like he's good to go.
He put a 19.6 in, which is a good half second quicker than Henbury. So I expect him to really start putting pressure, maybe make a pass in that back straight if he can get a good exit out of turn 7.
Henbury's made an error. Here comes Hodgson.
If you make a mistake at the top of the S's, it costs you the whole way down, unfortunately. So Nick should really close up here. This is to going into turn 5. For me, it's the
big mistake.
Yeah, I was just about to say most difficult corner on the circuit. If you hit those sausage curbs, you can be in that wall before you know it.
Actually, both cars were sideways, but Hodgson was a little bit worse off.
Often when you're following someone, you copy their mistakes. You copy their braking, and if it's a little bit too late, they both seem to go wide at the same time. It's costing 2 seconds.
Bit of dirty air as well. It can play its role.
For sure, yeah.
Hodgson didn't lose any time, but Jacques Boert has certainly caught up quite a bit now, just 1.6 seconds behind Hodgson.
Swanepoel and Haynes, Swanepoel's just dropped off a little bit from Staines, so the pressure's off those Ghostwork guys. And they seem to be comfortable pumping in consistent lap times. Top 3 drivers seem to be all spreading out, unfortunately, and just going around in their own pace, but their own pace is a little bit quicker than the guy behind them. So it just looks like at the moment that those gaps are just going to continue to spread.
And DeAndre Sparks is at an off. And he's lost a couple of positions, joined behind.
Yes.
Hodgson gets him as well. All around he goes.
Swanepoel's taken Stain.
Yes, he has. Judging by the gap to Timothy Haynes, looks like Stain's made a mistake.
Yeah, I think he must have gone wide around turn 6.
What a drive this is by Swanepoel. He's dispatched one Ghost Works and eyes off to the next one. Even if it was an area there by Stain, you still need to be there to take advantage of it. But here comes Stain, coming back at him.
Oh, that's a risky place to go move onto turn 1. Yeah, I think he's thought better of that.
DeAndre Sparks all about down to 17th. He's lost, what, 5 positions. It's cost him dearly.
It's trying to get a... Stain's got to just try and close... You've got to try and be as close as you can exiting turn 7. If you concentrate just on following the guy in front and then really getting a good clean exit out of turn 7 for that braking zone into the chicane.
And Stain's fallen well back too. Now 2 seconds behind Swanepoel.
Yeah, that move into turn 1 and then also trying to push in the S has actually cost him more time than just following.
Swanepoel now 1.4 seconds behind Timothy Haynes. So just keep an eye on that gap. DeAndre Sparks coming back now. Alfie Van Sale. McLaren looking properly beaten up. Got those tyres back down to the required temperature. Now he can push again.
Claessen's is slowly just creeping up to Lisha in 3rd position. He took 7/10 out of them in the last lap. That gap's coming down again, 0.8 now. So Lisha's just losing a little bit of time in this end of this first stint. Sparks might have a run here.
Yeah, no, boys, just asking what happened to Rousseau. Rousseau didn't actually start this race, so we're not sure if he had an issue. But he was not on the start grid, unfortunately. But he did do qualifying. Van Sale's had an off, it looks like. Yes, he has. And Buerta as well. He's dropped 2 positions, has Jacques Buerta. De Wit up to 12th, Langeveld up to 13th now. And Hodgson's got Hennebury as well. So Hodgson up into 10th position.
Yeah, we got 2 drivers out of position in Hodgson and Langeveld. Slowly working their way up, but it does show how difficult it is to make positions here because they're not gaining places quickly. It's taking them a while to get past guys. De Wit
and Langeveld now, the 2 red line cars together. Well, De Wit let Langeveld go.
You'd imagine him not putting up too much of a fight.
Yeah, he's going to break early. Through goes Langeveld to 12th position. Nice team play there. And yes.
That gap from Claessen's to Lisha is down to under a half a second now, so it's definitely been on its way down for quite a few laps. So whether Mercedes tyres just go off a little bit quicker than the Audis.
We don't know what fuel loads the guys are running as well. That will come into play a bit later on.
Yeah, Hugo's done well on his soft tyres. He's managed to get up to 13th position, and I think that's further up than where he started, so he's worked them well. It's just, I imagine now, 20 laps in, they should just start to be feeling a little bit worse for wear. JP Paul also up to 15th on his soft tyres.
Lisha very cautious through turn 1. It's cost him. Here comes Claessens.
Yeah, Claessens just needs to hold on to the back of this Mercedes.
Mercedes-Benz a bit quicker through that section.
Mercedes will always be difficult to pass on the straight with its 0 BOP figures.
We've got Heineke who's fallen back, so has Sterner behind us. Lisha just a bit better through that section of the circuits. So have a look and see what's happened here. Sterner down to 9th position now. And Heineke down to 14th.
And Swanepoel's dropped right down to 11th.
Perhaps they came together. Swanepoel's let teammate Langevaart through as well. So Langevaart now after Sterner.
Hodgson up at 7th place. He's recovering well from his issues on the first few laps. Heineke's just dropped a few positions as well. He's dropped down to 19th. He's dropped 4 places.
Claessen's preparing another run at Lisha.
He's got to be right on that back bumper leaving turn 7. I think that's his only opportunity. Unless, obviously, Lisha makes a mistake. A good exit from this corner is what he wants. He's closer than he was the last lap. Lisha's going to hold the inside line, I'm sure.
Claessen's going to go for the move, is he? Yes, he is. Oh, Lisha not having any of it. Covers him.
Oh, very close down the pit straight. That's a great move. Fantastic move by Claessen's. Risky. I wouldn't have risked it over that brow, but he had the run on him.
That was great respect for racing. That's what we want to see. Good stuff by Lisha and Claessens.
Yeah, Lisha didn't close him off there. I think when you can see him closing, it's sometimes not worth fighting too hard. There's obviously a lot of time to go, 40 laps to go.
We've got Chris Heineke into the pits now, 19th position on lap 21. So perhaps there's this two-stopper there for Heineke. So does Hugo de Wit also comes in.
Obviously, Hugo was in the softs, but I think Chris must have had an issue because he dropped quite a few places, so maybe he's got a bit of a damage and he wanted to come in early. But I should imagine Hugo's going on the two-stop. If he stays on the softs, which he is at the moment.
On board Lisha now, trying to come back at Claessen's, but he's not close enough. Nowhere near where he needs to be. Go back to the Sterner-Langevaart battle over 9th position. This is Langevaart's second run at Sterner. Langevaart having a sneaky look up the inside. Sterner covers him nicely. It's the Lisha Claessen's battle now. Lisha has a good run of Claessen side by side. Nisha's got that move done. Great fight between these two. It's not over yet. Claessen's already with a good run on Nisha.
Yeah, it took all those laps to get past him, and he's going to be disappointed with that. Great fight between these two.
Chappie Paul's had a problem. He's down to 17th. This is out to Fansel and Sparks. Steven Sparks. Oh, things are getting feisty between these two. Claessen's getting a bit frustrated, I think.
So Hugo in his pits, he did stay on soft tyres, so he's probably looking to do a two-stop soft. We can get the undercut on a few people coming into pit later when they change their mediums. In fact, we've got all the soft guys running in a little bit of a train. JP, Paul, Sparks, and Hugo all on the soft tyre.
Langevaarder with a good run on Stenner. This is the strength of Mercedes-Benz down the straights. Stenner goes defensive. Oh, Langevaarder swoops around the outside. Good move. Nisha's starting to move away from Claessen's. Now resting at Jim Clark. Truly in control of things.
Yeah, his consistency is paying dividends. I mean, the gap that he's managed to make in 25 laps is quite impressive. You have checked his BOP figures, haven't you?
Yes, yes, I have.
This might be worth double checking.
Yeah, certainly 22.5 seconds ahead of Judd Watt now. And Judd Watt second is about to put a lap on Henry Roux. So Roux will be getting blue flags, no doubt, already. Definition now in third position, just ahead of Claessen. He's looking to come back at him again. Yay for us.
Yeah, these two are in an epic battle. I think it could carry on for most of the race at this rate. Nisha very close to his outside curbs, nearly catching one, but luckily just missing it. They're both using every bit of the track in that turn 5. pushing their luck a little bit there. If you can get one wheel out over the edge of that curb, it can throw you off and be a race-ending incident. So, no doubt they've done hundreds of laps practicing that. The problem Clarkson's got is down that straight, even in the toe, he doesn't seem to be able to close up that gap. So, as he did the first time, he's got to pass a section of the track which is not an easy place to do it. So if Lisha can keep clean and just concentrate on a good exit out of turn 7 down that back straight, it's always going to be difficult for Claessens to make a move.
Different lines through turn 1. Lisha with a much tighter line. Claessens coming at it from a much wider angle. Similar results.
Yeah, Mercedes is a little bit like steering a boat sometimes, though.
Now, the Mercedes-Benz demands a certain setup that you need to figure out with that car to make it work.
Yeah, and obviously Langevelt's a bit of a specialist, I believe, in the Mercedes, so he's got some experience with it. And as his teammate, no doubt they've done some work together on that.
It's important not to run the Mercedes-Benz too soft. You're running a bit harder when compared to the other cars.
I've never really put much time into the Mercedes, but I personally found it quite difficult. Yeah, it's a different style of driving. Once you get used to it, and no doubt you get a good setup, it's certainly quick.
Yeah. The default setup is not very good at all. I know all about that.
Oh, right, okay. Maybe that's it. Sometimes when you first start, you just drive all of the cars on default setup, and you don't really get a feeling for what the car's capable of.
Claessens with a good run, Alicia. Down the main straight we go now. Piling on the pressure.
Yeah, the Audi's certainly quick there. I mean, that's obviously where he put a pass before, so...
Around the outside. Oh, yeah, it's cost him.
Yeah, that's not a place to overtake.
Full marks for trying, but it's cost him big time.
Extra marks for not running into the wall as well.
He's lost, what, a good 2 seconds on this now.
Unless you've got a very compliant opposition, you're never going to put a pass on the turn 1, I wouldn't have thought. Or...
In the background, we've got a swap in position, I think. And they're still fighting together. Oh, don't come together. Oh, Marcus staying with the move around the outside.
It looked at the start like it was a bit of an orchestrated change.
It did, didn't it? But I think it was actually a defensive move.
Haynes changed his mind halfway.
It looks like it. So I think it's Henry Rube barreling out of off the road there, trying to avoid the Ghostworks cars coming through.
A little bit of ploughing there. No, Haynes has definitely not given that position up, I don't think.
They sort of moved over, I thought, here we go, and then they carried on fighting, and then Steyn had to go around the outside. And there's the results. Steyn up into 5th position now. Let's see if we can move away from Timothy Haynes now.
These teams should be sponsored by Rich Energy, I think.
It would work maybe if they were still in existence.
Maybe you can use it now, no intellectual property.
There we go. Don't use the logo though, it's taken.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
So let's see if Steyn can move towards Claessens. Of course, it's much closer now since Claessens had his off.
Yeah, he's just taking the pressure off Lisha there, so Lisha's got open track. He can obviously put the times in. If he can concentrate, he might keep that gap there for the pit stops, which should be helpful, I'm sure. In the meantime, Clark and Jadwat are basically having very boring races on their own. Not really in any trouble at all, but not seeing each other either. Lisha's in the pits.
Okay, so Lisha is the first of the front runners to blink. He comes in.
Yes, maybe a few laps earlier than what we would expect for a one-stop, but if the mediums are starting to go off, maybe he thought he'd take the opportunity. Stop with anyone else pulling the undercut.
Perhaps he's also seen a gap in the traffic to come out in clean air, which is also important. And I think he's pulled it off nicely.
Yeah, everyone else will be piling in the pits in 3 or 4 laps time, I think.
Delicious stayed on the medium tyre. No change there. I think Lisha will try and go to the end now. I think as will everybody else when they come in. Perhaps except for the soft runners.
Yeah, which haven't really made the progress they're probably after, but obviously they've got the guys in front still coming in for their pit stop. So our leading soft runner is still Hugo in 16th position. He's got quite a significant gap, hasn't he? So he's not really looking to make a lot of places through pit stops. He's obviously still going to probably be pitting in again himself.
Of course, Lisha will now be enjoying fresh tyres using the undercut.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to watch his times.
Yeah, his tyres will be much older towards the end, though, when compared to, say, Quay Claessen's. If Claessen's going to come in on sort of lap 30, what, 30, it could be coming in now, halfway through, let's see. It's not that early for Lisha.
No, he's only 1 or 2 laps early, wasn't he? It's not too many battles happening, and no one within a second at the moment. Everyone's just settling in.
Andrew Sparks had another off, unfortunately. Alfie van Selner up into 14th position. Klaassen stays out for another lap. I think he's trying to make the overcut work on Lisha.
Yeah, so Lisha's dropped down to 12th, but he's not being held up, which is significant, isn't it? If he was in traffic, it would be a different story, but at the moment he's got quite a bit of fresh air. And he's putting in fast time as well, 19.7.
4, yeah.
I think those fresh tyres probably feel great to him right now.
Mark Hennebury now into the pits for Ghostworks from 13th position. Let's see what lap time Quay Claessen's produces now.
I think he'll do well to beat Lisha's 19. Was he 19.7? Was it?
7.14,
Yeah.
I think.
Or 19.77 on old tyres.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not going to gain time with the overcut. So, but like you said, he'll be quicker at the end. Hope with a couple of laps fresher tyres. Still pushing on lap 33.
DeAndre Sparks down to the pits.
You'd expect the pit lane to be very busy on this lap.
Here comes Langerveld. Well, we're at the halfway stage now.
Hodgson, he's managed to get himself all the way back up into 6th position, so he's kept at it and he's done well. Considering I think he dropped down to sort of 14th, 15th-ish on at the start.
Impressive comeback.
He obviously had the pace.
RS leader Clark also into the pits now.
He's basically got a free pit stop almost.
You can have a bit of coffee and a biscuit as well if you wanted to be honest.
Stop for an ice cream.
Cover and Dawson to the pits now from 13th. Is Langenveld going to rejoin? He will rejoin. Oh, it's going to be close between these two. Behind Hennebury. Not sure where those two were in relation to the other before the pit stops.
Yeah, is Henry not pitted yet? He can't have done.
Don't think so.
So this is holding Langeveld up. He'll want either Mark to come into the pits on this lap, or he's going to want to try and get past on the back straight.
Staying into the pits. Hodgson into the pits now as well.
It's interesting, we've got Jadwat and Haynes still out. I'm just wondering if they can push it a few more laps, they could maybe change for a split strategy, specifically Jadwat.
Let's see what Claessens does this lap. Jadwat comes into the pits now.
Yeah, that's probably still going to stay on mediums, I would have thought.
Claessen's in now. Where's Lisha? Lisha's coming down the back straight.
He should have plenty of space, I would have thought. He's going to probably be 4 or 5 seconds. Claessens needs a very clean pit stop. Maybe save a little bit of time on fuel.
Comes Lisha down the main straight.
Yeah, Lisha's quite comfortable, I think.
Easily passed. So that settles that battle for the moment.
I think we'll be coming back to that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Langevaart's past Hennebrey for, what's it, 8th position now. So Langevaart also recovering well, together with Hodgson.
So Haynes has stayed out. He's one of the only main guys at the front that's still out on the original tyres. I'm wondering whether he's... No, as I say that, he comes in.
Let's see where he comes in now in relation with Lisha and Claessens.
So he's only got 29 laps to put on a set of tyres. It's still too much for the softs, I think, but he's going to have the freshest tyres of those around him.
Three goes Steyn as well, so Steyn stays ahead of Haynes. Pretty much the gap as it was before the pit stops, I think.
Yeah, no one's managed to take any advantage out of pit stops, really, has it? Stayed exactly. So they're going to have to do the passing on track. Govinder's dropped back, and Sparks as well.
Vancel and Leandre Sparks fighting it out. This is over 15th position. Vancel's put that move on Leandre Sparks now, with Steven Sparks watching on. Oh, Leandre's so close there. He's almost pushing the Audi along.
Yeah, McLaren's super quick through the corners.
We have someone off in front of us. It's Hugo de Wit recovering from an off. He moves aside for the 3 cars to go past. We're not confident on overheated tyres. The two redline McLarens there, one past this Black Widow Audi as quickly as possible, and Alfie Fintel makes an error.
Yeah, that'll cost him. Oh, he's off.
What's happened there? Was that contact? That was an odd one.
He went off on the grass, and I think he had too much steering angle when he came back on track.
Stephen Sparks now looking to put a move on his son under braking.
This is never easy, I promise you, between family members. I've done it before.
You know all about that with Timothy.
It's not recommended.
But Sparks Jr.'s got the edge for the moment. Alfie Fintel into the pits. I think he already did pit stops, I think, to repair some damage. No doubt. And Clark now leading by over 30 seconds. That's just incredible.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be putting on some soft towels. Go for that extra 1 point for fastest lap at the end of the race. As we thought, though, Claessens is catching Lischer. He's within a second, and when he came out of the pit stops, it was 2 or 3, wasn't it? So he's under a second now. So that is definitely going to be a battle that goes to the end.
I think Lischer's in a bit of traffic there as well, which didn't help his cause. Who was that? That was Adrian Govender in the redline Audi.
Yeah, Claessen's not been affected anywhere near as much, so he's shaved a lot of time off pretty quickly in a few laps. And obviously his tyres are a few laps newer as well, so it's looking promising for him. Jadrat puts his fastest lap of the race, 19.1. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Lischer's untidy through those S's. That's cost him.
Yeah. Claessen's got to run on him now. Lischer goes defensive. He knows what's coming. Oh, Claessen's going to try and go around the outside. Can he do it? No, he can't.
He's going to get a really good exit out of 7, hopefully.
Oh, he's forced Lischer wide.
Tight.
Got Hugo de Wit in front of them, a lap down. I think Hugo's just going to pull aside.
Lischer wants to keep that inside line covered, which he is doing. He's learnt his mistake from the last time.
Claessen's around the outside.
Oh, fantastic driving by Claessen's there.
That's impressive. Here comes Lischer trying to come back at him. If we move into turn 1, or be brave. No, Claessen's has got him covered.
Yeah, Lischer's going to have an easier time trying to overtake on that back straight in the Mercedes, so he doesn't want to try and push it too much. He's already made that move once before, so he knows it's a possibility.
A bit of it now, there's a bit of traffic for Claessen's. Has he held him up? Yes, it has, I think. Claessen's onto the brakes. And Lischer just creeps up once again.
He just needs to be up behind him on turn 7, and he'll have an opportunity in the braking zone.
Oh, contact, is it? Yeah, a bit of contact. Not too
Definitely
bad.
a touch there.
Lischer had to get out of it, and away goes Claessen's. The back gap up to almost a second. And while they've been fighting, Marcus Stain has been getting closer and closer, and he's just half a second now behind Lischer.
Yeah, cars everywhere. Very congested on this straight. Nice to see that Devin can take the sandbags out of his car, though, at race day, isn't it? that was just for him, that comment. Turns out his race setup's not bad after all.
Yeah. But now under some serious pressure from Stan. That rear end of the Mercedes-Benz is getting a bit loose for my liking. Too loose.
I imagine it's quite easy to overdrive that Merc, though, isn't it? Because heat up those rear tyres.
It is very easy to do that, and once it gets to a certain temperature, it gets really bad. So
it affects the following lap. So he had a bit of a Larry one lap, and then it takes a while for you to get that temperature back into the ideal condition again. Stain's showing some great pace at the end, though. He seems to. I think the last time out it was the same. He struggled a little bit at the start, and then he just slowly gets faster and faster as he pushes it a bit too much on the pit straight.
Speaking about pushing it too much, Marcus Stan all 4 tyres off the circuit down the main straight, or off the main straight, should I say?
Exactly.
But he managed to hang on to it. And I was moving away from Stan slightly. Dare I say, closer towards Claessen's. The gap now down to 1.7 seconds.
Guys having to come up with a bit of more imagination and trying to overpass Mercedes. Difficult to take it on that back straight.
I think Timothy Haynes had a massive off in the background, and he's.
Yeah, he's dropped a lot of time. Hodgson's right up behind him.
He had a big
and
spin.
He's got a bit of damage on the front. Yeah.
Damage there. And so here comes Hodgson. So Hodgson lining him up already. Hugo de Wit now under pressure from Adrian Govender. 2 Audi side by side. This is Redline Racing versus Point Blank. Nice move there by Adrian Govender around the outside. Good move. So Govender now up into 15th position. Let's go back to the Haynes-Hodgson battle over 6th position.
Yeah, he's lost a few rounds worth of value to that Audi. Bit of damage on the front.
Hugo de Wit now into the pits again for his second stop. No doubt to carry on his soft tyre campaign. But clearly the strategy to be on is the one stop on the medium tyre.
Yeah, so we saw it last time out, so no one's gonna. It proved to be the right strategy. I think you're gonna struggle to make anything work and gain that pit stop back with the softs. Unless you're Jim Clark, you could probably take 4 stops on hards.
Oh, mistakenly by Timothy. Here comes Nick.
Yeah, Nick should have him here, I would have thought. Yeah, he's got that move, mate.
Timothy just got out of the throttle. He had to, otherwise he doesn't run wide.
Yeah, no choice there.
So yeah, Daniel Hodgson having a magic recovery.
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed with his opening. Scruffy dropped a few places, but yeah, excellent drive after that to recover. Obviously, he qualified second, so he's out of position, but he's put a few good moves.
He's now just over 10 seconds behind Stan. He might be able to catch it up before the end of the race. There are 20 laps remaining.
I think he tidied up his car in the pit stop as well. His scratches on the front had disappeared.
Okay. It always makes sense to repair the damage.
Yeah, especially if it's not more than what a tyre change would be. Staines just still sticking with Lisha, but not putting too much pressure on him. And Lisha's just slowly dropping back from Klaassen. So Klaassen now in clean air is managing to put some consistent lap times in.
Klaassen's, Lisha and Stein are all lapping sort of within a tenth of each other. It's very close there, as is Hodgson and Haynes actually. Very close, consistent times throughout the field, really.
Yeah, Langeveldt still putting in
except
times.
for Clark, who does a 19.2.
Yeah, it's depressing for everyone else in the field.
That's amazing.
Maybe we should come up with some BOP figures just specifically for him. Like 45 or something.
Yeah. I could do a deal like that and give, if he wins, give him 50% more points for a win then.
Yeah, true.
Just to balance it out.
We're all just jealous, that's all it is.
Lisha now under pressure from Stein once again.
Yeah, Stein took half a second out of him on that lap, so he's... I don't know whether Lisha made a mistake or Stein's just really got his head down, put a flyer in.
And Lisha's taken a 3/10 out of Klaassen's as well, so these three are coming together nicely.
Pushing each other along, yeah. Remember, Lisha came in, was it 3 laps before everyone else? So towards the end of the race, those 3 laps might make a difference. Mercedes is so quick in a straight line, isn't it? Like, everyone's struggling to get up behind it.
Jacques Boitzer leads Mark Hennebree. It's over 11th position. No, in fact, yeah, that's in fact Hugo de Wit behind him. Yes, so de Wit's a lap behind. Confused there for a second. Let's go back to the Lisha Stein battle.
Just waiting for someone to make a mistake here. Lawrence Stern has been very consistent as well, running nicely in 9th position. He's had a good race.
Yeah, he's amazingly consistent in Stern. He's shown that last season as well.
And obviously off the back of a very good result in GP. He can finish 2nd in GP, I believe. An excellent result.
I think that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, behind Jim Clark.
I think he's a very consistent driver, and I think he's just upping his pace with every round. It's great to watch.
And Marcus gets that, yeah.
Puts a stunner on Lisha. But here comes Lisha back at him. Stein
Don't try and
defensive.
turn one.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, I think he thinks better of that. You just want to stay behind him. I don't
Lisha
think
alongside Stein on to turn 2. It's brave, opts out of it. That's a wise decision.
Lisha just needs to stay behind him. He will have an opportunity in that Mercedes. But not through the S's.
Yeah, I think the Red Line Mercedes-Benz, the Red Bull Ring, will be very strong down those long straights.
Yeah, they'll have. This probably isn't the track that suits that car the most. I wouldn't have thought with all the twisted S's, but yeah, you're right. Red Bull Ring will be very strong there. Road America as well. I imagine it'll be strong there.
Should be. Okay, so Stain starting to move away from Lisha. Stain did a 20.6 and Lisha did a 21.3.
In the meantime, Claessen's has put his foot down. He did a 19.6, I think.
He's put opened the gap to 3.3 seconds ahead of Stain, so he's gone.
So did we establish it? Sorry, who the bottom three were in quality? Be in Division 2 next session?
It was Alfie Fansel, Steven Sparks, and I think JP Paul. Those three.
Okay. See, JP Paul's done well to gain positions in the race, but unfortunately, yeah, the qualifying result is going to cost him for the next round.
But of course, in round 2, if he does make top 3 in that qualifying session, he'll be back in Division 1.
Yeah.
So Bongi Mabida commenting, Langefart was the only driver in SimRace South Africa history to do a 2-minute 2 at Road America with the Mercedes-Benz.
So very strong in Road America then. I'm tempted to do Road America. I like that track.
Yeah. Chris Heineck into the pits now for his second stop.
He had an unscheduled early pit stop, I think, wasn't he? So maybe he moved on to a 2-stop strategy.
If I was him, I would slap some softs on now and see what he could do.
He's after that fastest lap.
Yeah, no, I think he's staying with the medium tyre. Looks like it's...
You get used to the car on a certain level of grip. Sometimes it's not worth changing, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. You shouldn't really try something that you haven't tried in practice.
No,
the race is not enough time to experiment with.
No, if you are, you're having a bit of a race. If you have to try something different.
Actually, I had to do that in the last GP race, so that I'm sort of going against my own advice now. But I was sort of desperate. I was on the soft tire, and no, I was on the medium tire to start, and the soft runners were just pulling away like crazy, and I realized it was all wrong. Now I set up to do a 1-stop on the medium, and I came early and changed it to a 2-stop on the softs.
How did it go for you?
Yeah, I clawed my way back from 8th to 3rd, so it was the right decision.
I'm just cooking the soft tyres in GP, so I didn't really have much choice in that.
So,
Mugello was hard on tyres, eh? They were just boiling.
I didn't find it too bad. It's actually fine. I just thought the 1-stop on the mediums was the way to go in the Division 2 race, but it didn't work out that way. So.
I think I 2-stopped mediums.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely not the 1-stopper. I think everyone that did a 1-stopper in the Division 1 race came a cropper towards the end. My screen showing Lisha as a DNF for some reason.
Yeah, Lisha he's gone. Looks like a server disconnection.
That's
terrible. Yeah, his car's disappeared. So that's terrible for Lisha and Redline Racing.
He was going
good points.
very well.
Yeah.
I can assume only a connection issue. There's no other reason.
I think so, yeah. His car has disappeared. It's typical of a disconnect.
So that gets Hodgson back up to 5th place from his start. So it shows that it's always worth pushing on. Both Hodgson and Langeveld, who had a bit of a shocking first half of the first stint, have both recovered to reasonable positions.
Yeah, and if you can, it's always worth finishing Division 1 race because you get all those extra points.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean, even if you come last in Division 1, you get more points than the win in Division 2. So there we go.
And in a 90-minute race, if you have a bad 10 minutes at the start, it's surprising how well you can recover over 90 minutes.
Leandro Sparks with Alfie van Zyl behind him, but van Zyl is a lap behind. Not much of a race there.
So Stephen Sparks dropped back then because Sparks were together, weren't they?
Yes, that's correct. Is that an off or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to him. I hope it wasn't together.
Jim Clark now almost 40 seconds ahead of second place man Bashir Judd Watts. And Claessen's a further 20 seconds behind in third position. Looks like it's going to be Icor winning this race ahead of the 2 Ghostworks or 3 Ghostworks Audis.
Yeah, it's good showing from Ghostworks. Just Jim Clark was just too quick in race trim, really. So there's no one fighting at the moment. There's gaps appearing everywhere, isn't it? I think people have settled into their positions.
Now with 10 laps remaining. Oh, Clark with a slight error. See, he is human, everyone. Catching some air.
I think he just knows he was on camera. He put that in for our benefit.
He's lost half a second, everyone.
I'm sure he'll be pushing to make it up.
So Clark's about to put a lap on Timothy Haynes in 6th position. Says it all, really.
Yeah, lapping to 6th place, my word.
And of course, if you're watching this live stream and you want to get involved in the action, you're very welcome to do so. You can visit our website at simracesa.co.za and have click on the Esports Leagues tab and find the sign-up form. And you could be racing with myself on Wednesday evening, in Division 3 anyway. And, yeah, great fun. And everybody's welcome to join in, and there's always somebody to race throughout the divisions.
Yeah, not everyone's Jim Clark, guys. Don't worry about that.
You don't need to be Jim Clark to have fun as well.
No, of course not. Otherwise, he'd be racing on his own. I think that Division 2 race is just going to be as competitive as Division 1. The times are just as tight all the way down the field. So.
Oh no, it's absolutely insane, Division 1. We worry about like a hundredth of a second.
Yeah, you'll have a good race on Wednesday, though.
I think so, yeah.
And you told me earlier you were actually trying, Jason.
I was trying. I wasn't holding back. And all I could produce was a 19.5. So.
Yeah, so we've got 19. So we had 18.5 to 19.5 basically for Division 1, and 19.4 to 24. So it's still only a second in Division 2 as well.
So there's 22 in Division 1, and the top 30 out of the I think 60 runners, top 30 they were separated by a second. That's how close it was. Crazy.
But if this race has taught anyone to the Division 2 drivers watching, it's all about consistency in the race. So stop doing qualifying laps, put some mediums and some heavy fuel on, and practice that for the next 2 days.
And run the medium tyre, one stop on the medium.
Yeah, because look, Nick Hodgson, he fell back. He's in 5th because his consistency and his race pace is there. So sometimes you can just do hot lap, hot lap, hot lap. That's why I really like the division qualifying, because it less pressure on 4 days of LCQ and just pushing in hot laps. You can actually think about race prep for a change, and certainly I think for GP and for GT3 that makes a big difference.
I sort of wanted everybody to concentrate more on race pace. I think we're far too concerned about one lap pace.
Yeah, definitely. You spent 4 days doing hot laps, and then
because you were worried you were going to drop down a division.
Yeah, because it was so tight, so you didn't really have much choice sometimes. So then you end up turning up to the race and just literally thinking, I'll take my qualifying setup, shovel over the fuel in it and some harder tyres, and just see how it goes. But there's an opportunity there for guys to jump people, even if they haven't got the hot lap speed later in the race.
So I also think stability in the divisions is also important too, because if you sort of racing with the same guys week in and week out, you also get to know how they drive. It also improves the racing. So
you become familiar with how they drive.
Yeah,
definitely.
If you approach sort of a more aggressive driver, you won't try things necessarily than what you would do with the more sort of conservative drivers. So.
Yeah, you get to learn who's your caveat in the race.
That's it.
There's still opportunity there for guys to move up as well, isn't there? So there's incentive there for the Division 2 guys to, if they can get that top 3 spot and want to move up to Division 1, it's there. Poor Bongi Mabida missed out by a thousandth of a second.
He's asked us not to mention it, so I think we should stop now talking about that. I just seen the YouTube chat there. Bongi, we love you, man. You're going to be back in Division 1 in no time, don't worry.
Yeah, that's gutting, isn't it? 1 millisecond.
Savage, yeah. And of course, if somebody joins mid-season or sort of from round 2, they can start in Division 3 and then work their way towards Division 1. So, if you don't start
if someone deserves to be there, they'll get there quickly, won't they?
And they will enjoy it on the way as well. So.
Yeah, the problem is now is you look down and you see 30. Instantly you think, well, they're Division 1 drivers, but there's not 30 places in Division 1, so inevitably there's going to be a few that miss out.
Yeah. So we've got 5 laps remaining now. Judd Watt leading by just under 40 seconds. Claessens hasn't really been able to close the gap to Judd Watt. He stayed ahead of Steyn by 5 seconds.
I think he's probably quite satisfied with his 3rd place. No point risking it. Steyn's got 4th nailed as well. And they're settling in now, isn't it? You get to the last, you're tired, you just want to finish. Don't make a mistake. Heineke is closed up to JP Paul in 15th, half a second back. JP, obviously one of our soft tyre runners, so I imagine those tyres are feeling quite well used at this point.
Oh, big moment there for Paul. He hung on to it, but he's lost out to Heineke. Oh, again, off by Paul. I think those tyres are just let go, as you said, Daniel.
Yeah, you've got 4 laps to go. They're probably pretty low, I would imagine.
Screaming for mercy. Joined safely. Who else is close together? Hennebury and Swanepoel.
It's a last-ditch effort to try and make a place sometimes at the end.
Yeah.
And also a last-ditch effort to try and keep your place. It can make you a little bit nervous.
So we got Hugo de Vet trying to unlap himself, trying to get back past Hennebury to unlap himself. And making life difficult there for Hennebury. Dirkie Swanepoel's right behind them.
So, lesson notes for people in Division 2 and 3. The soft tyre doesn't really work.
Nope.
The 3 guys that have tried it are all in the bottom 5.
Swanepoel now needs de Vet to move aside so he can go after Hennebury. But de Vet's not playing ball for some reason. He lets him go now though, I think.
Yeah, these guys are fighting for position now. And it
Yeah.
could get interesting in the last 3 laps.
Swanepoel's on the medium tyre, so is Hennebury.
Yeah, I can't remember who pitted first, but that might come into play for the last couple of laps if they closed up significantly. I think he lost a bit of time in traffic there. He's closed up a lot in Sector 1 though, hasn't he? Gained 4 tenths. So am I right in saying Jim Clark's lapped up to Hodgson's position now?
I think so.
So he's lapped everyone up to 5th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
So only 3 drivers have managed to stay on the same lap. That's unbelievable. Swanepoel's 2 tenths behind Henbury now. Going down the back straight. Mark will want to cover that inside line. There he goes. No, going to stick with his racing line.
Yeah, but the inside, yeah, it was, I think he might have outbraked and stuff as well.
I think that he's, because Mark didn't cover that inside, it was just too tempting with only a lap to go.
He just threw it in there.
If that was lap 2, he wouldn't have made that move.
So Marcus then just puts a lap on him.
So Jim Clark goes into the final lap with a 19.0 just to demonstrate to everyone that he deserves to be there. I've got him as the only driver to get into the 18s in race pace. Pretty significant, considering that only one driver was in the 18s for qualifying last time we were at this track.
Jim Clark down the back straight for the last time. And he's having the perfect start to his title defense as the South African simGT Drivers Champion from 2019.1.
Yeah, great start for the season for him. Exactly what he wanted. It's going to be a hard man to beat. Hopefully some other rounds, someone can put some pressure on him.
Victory for Clark at Road Atlanta. Here goes Bashir Judd Watts, 40 seconds behind him. But yeah, a magnificent drive by Jim Clark. Somewhat surprising. I didn't expect him to be so quick. Actually, looking at the division qualifying, I thought the other drivers had found something.
Yeah, great to have Jadwat back with us as well, though, because he missed quite a big part of the last season, so it's a very good return, and second position is certainly a very good result, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
Absolutely.
Claessen's first drive, Ghostworks, third position podium, excellent drive.
Solid drive, yeah.
I mean, he was fighting with Lisha for a significant portion, so it wasn't easy by any means. But he's very, very consistent, so he'll be happy with his debut race for Ghostworks. And Marcus, as always, gets quicker as the race goes on, so managed to get himself up into 4th place, so it's a good result there as well.
And a fantastic recovery drive by Nick Hodgson to get 5th position. And I think they wouldn't have enjoyed that, what happened at the start, but definitely top 5.
No, yeah, when you qualify second, he could have had podium in his sight, but yeah, excellent drive after his mishaps at the start.
As the other cars have finished the race as they were a lap down, and there we have it. So Clark takes victory at Road Atlanta. And a good start to the 2019.2 season, I think, and we look forward to a good race at the Red Bull Ring for round 2. I think that race is in 3 weeks' time or so. Let's check the calendar. But it should be a good one. The next race will be round 2 of the South African simGP series at Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken. Looking forward to that one as well. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me, Daniel. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, pleasure. Look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Well, for me, Jason Holden-Jones, that wraps up this round. We'll be streaming in 2 weeks' time for round 2 of the 2019.2 South African simGP series right here on YouTube. Until then, all the best till then. Goodbye.